people say they make a statement that they dying, like type stuff. I mean, it wasn't that I was dying. I actually went through it. I went through the stage of that you don't want to go to, where it was witnesses on that block. It was a man that stood like a dead man, and he always walked on that corner of 8 Mile, and he always would walk very slow. But when I said it, he still as still as a statue. That man stood as still as a statue. I wouldn't tell you no lie. When I said help at that time, it was a very large help, because I could not see nothing. It was as black as the sky. You would have thought I was in the sky, but I was sitting down. I didn't see nothing. It wasn't no air. It wasn't no wind. It was nothing moving at that time. That's how I knew it was more than what it looked like. And to this day, I have to thank God that it's only that I live by faith today. I couldn't even go in a regular place most of the time. You can't even go in a regular place like that. You understand? To tell somebody like, look, you believe that I made it through this, that I naturally, that they naturally try to do these things to me, and ever since I done came back, they try to do the plots and schemes, and thought that it was a game, concerning stuff, but it hasn't been a game. Sometimes I had to go back over it and be like, well, God, what would you have me to do? What is it would you have me to say to your people? And he would say, faith come by hearing. So seeing that faith come by hearing, I heard my mother's voice, and she spoke, and I said help, and then she spoke later on, and then I started coming out of it because I was trying to walk through it. One thing about me, I will walk through. You can't keep me down. You understand? I'm walking through stages of stuff too. And I began to gain a strength. I gained a strength like no other strength that I never had, that I never thought I really had in me. But I had a faith in me that really, really moved the mountains. Not only moved the mountains in my life, but even moved what some people fear the most, the touch of death. When the touch of death comes in, you know how many times that death then just tried to touch me? Just a touch of death. You understand? It's been happening since day one of my life. Death has always tried to touch me. And in many ways it did it. Sometimes it was for hatred of what I was to become. And it didn't want me to live by faith. See, I'm only living because it's the faith in me that's keeping me. There's no way, because I'm not even doing normal stuff that to even a natural person would do to live. You understand? To live, I'm not really doing all that. You understand? I'm actually taking it easy. I'm doing less and less of stuff. But I'm doing enough stuff to keep myself moving by faith. And God showed me I had to speak that by faith. When I said help, God began to move everything. He began to move people where people was on bikes moving. And when we was done, I seen a person riding with the bike so fast. It was crazy. I never seen a person ride the bike so fast when after my mother spoke, some people, you got power on the inside of you, but you don't even know that you got the power in you. You understand? And sometimes we think that we don't have faith in us. You have to have faith as a mustard seed. And sometimes God will do a rehearsal for folks to show you that if you care about somebody, you can have enough power. But some people don't even know that they had the power. They'll think that something else will happen. They'll think that you just lost it, like you blacked out. Like you blacked out to the point that you blacked out for some other reason. But this was no blackout like that. This was a blackout where it was a blackout. My ears, I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear the music playing. I just sat there and I was out. And I sat back there and I was so tired and my head was hung low. When I actually got up, I was sitting in a white little chair. I believe it was either the white or the blue chair. I was sitting in the chair and the Lord showed me through it all. I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't even see the vision, but I walked through it. I pulled myself through it to the point that I reached out for that. I heard a voice. You understand? When I heard the voice, I reached out of what I was going through because I already heard me speak help, but I couldn't see nobody else. But I started walking forward I started walking towards what I couldn't even see. But by faith, I received my sight. Oh my God, I'm not joking with you. By faith, I received my faith come by hearing and hearing the word of God. So as I moved forward, I couldn't see, and this is a true story. I physically couldn't see nobody at all. I couldn't see not one individual. So I was pressing through and I had to have my eyes open, but I couldn't see nothing. It's like when you can't see nothing, but you moving forward like a blindfold. It's like being blindfolded and you trying to move forward and reaching out like somebody. I heard somebody's voice, let me get up out of this, so I'm walking forward, my body. You need to ask God for a stronger faith to make it through what you're going through. You got to ask God to give you faith. Faith is more important than anything else. I learned this. God showed me this, that faith in Him was more important than anything else that I had, because nothing else could have helped me out of that at that time. Nothing else could have helped me come to stand in that time. By faith, nothing could have helped me come out of that. Nothing could have helped me move forward but the faith, the willingness to move forward out of it when I was going through a touch of death. Oh God. God said the last enemy to be destroyed is death. But that only comes by faith. Oh, that's something people fear. That's why they won't actually do anything, because they fear that this can happen and that can happen. But man, when you've been through it, for this cause, God say, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. Why? Because they done went through a series of stuff that tried to touch them. And some people did get the victory over prophets of the certain times and seasons. But it's a time when it won't happen all the time. You understand? It will not happen all the time that faith, faith will work all the time, but other stuff will not work for you in that hour when you can't see nothing. What do you use when people put the burden on you? You understand? And you still gotta press. What do? You use faith. Faith cometh by hearing. How do it come? It come by you hearing. So when I heard, just like if Jesus spoke to Lazarus, faith had to come in Lazarus' ears. You ain't hearing me. For him to be dead 3 days. Three days. Like Christ. 3 days. Death, burial, resurrection. The death, burial, we don't really want to go through none of that. Some people will try to put their destiny and purpose on you. But one thing's for sure, that true faith can bring sight to the blind. What we need is people now that have faith to stand for what they believe. You have faith for things to change. Do you have faith as a mustard seed today? Do you have faith to be able to say to that mountain, be thou removed and cast into the sea? Do you have that type of faith? Most never really learn of it. It becomes spooked out for other folks. They be like, well, I don't know if that really worked. But